And in Germany, we had salad and we had soup. I had bread, but Babuji would generally not eat bread unless he was hungry. And then half a slice he would dip in the soup and eat it, much to the amusement of our hosts. One day there was soup in a flat dish, like in science we call it Petri dish, flat Petri dish. He put his finger and said, "Look, I have too much soup." And everybody was, I won't say they were shocked, but they were very touched by his innocent handling of the situation. They said, "No, but Babuji, it's not too much, it's just a little." Then he said, "No, I'm telling you, see," sucked his, and then took a spoon and started eating. But the most amusing episode was one day when we had salad. My wife was with me on that occasion. And he asked her in Hindi, "Daughter-in-law, come here. See if there are horns on my head." So she said, "But why horns, Babuji?" He said, "I've been eating so much grass. Surely by now I must have become a cow." And yeah, he laughed uproariously at his own joke. And he couldn't eat salad. He hated the stuff. In India, it's not, we don't eat salad because in tropical countries, it's not hygienic too. They're generally not grown properly, and they're not washed properly. Vegetables, we know how to handle. But salads, generally we don't eat. It's a modern, habit developed in the last 15, 20 years. So he could not eat it. But in London, we had a very charming hostess with whom we stayed. One day she said, "Babuji, would you like to have some chapati?" "Chapati? Yes, of course, but I'm telling you, I'm not very fond, but if you give me, yes, I will take." So she said, "I have a cook, who used to cook Indian food. She is not here today, but on Friday she will come. So Friday we will have chapati." So from then till Friday afternoon, Babuji was talking only of chapati. "Vasarthi, we are going to have chapati on Friday." I said, "Babuji, today is only Thursday." But you must be prepared for chapati tomorrow." Friday morning came. He didn't eat breakfast. He said, "Don't eat too much bread. It's not good for you. And I'm telling you, tomorrow, this afternoon, we're going to have chapati." Like that. 12:30 was lunchtime. 11:45, he was at the table. And he said, "Oh, Veera, don't bother. I'm here, because I have nothing else to do. I'm just sitting here. Pasarthi, you also come and sit." And we both sat side by side. There was no tablecloth even on the table. Then they came, put on the table, brought out the cutlery, and then the plates, forks and spoons, knife. And Babuji was sitting more and more erect. See? And suddenly this lady came with a big silver tray, with a big plate on it, with a silver dish covering it, the usual nobility style. And only the pepper was missing. And along he came, and Babuji, very humbly looked away on the other side and said, "What is a chapati?" After all, a chapati. And then it came, and they opened the dish, and there was a papad. And Babuji looked at me. He said, "Ye kya hai?" I said, "Papad." But kuch boliye mat, I said, "Don't say anything because they will feel hurt. See, or even more hurt that they're disappointed you. Just eat." And he took, one on his plate, broke a little, ate it. And he said, "Sister, I'm suddenly having a stomach ache. You don't mind if I don't eat?" "Oh, Babuji, but we have been preparing for this for 3 days. Yes, I'm telling you, you keep it. I will try to eat it later." And he got off the chair because it was a little high, And they took him back to the bedroom. Then that lady came to me and said, "Chari, are you not eating?" I said, "Well, how can I eat when my master doesn't eat?" So we both went to bed. And Babuji said, "Look at these people, they don't know what is a chapati." But I said, "Babuji, you have to eat something." So I went, made a couple of slices of toast, took out the crust from all sides, dipped it in milk and fed him. He said, "You also eat." So I also ate. And we went to bed, slept. And for the next week, it was the sole item of conversation, chapati. So our overseas trips were punctuated with a lot of humor, a great deal of unnecessary trouble for Babuji Maharaj, a great deal of suffering for him, a great deal of exposure to foreign situations, foreign atmosphere, foreign people, for food. And yet, he never batted an eyelid. Now, the way to Babuji's house was through a dirty, narrow, brick-paved lane with the noxious, canal side, small gutters right on both sides. Filthy, I mean, it's indescribably filthy. We never noticed because we were thinking of it. Whereas I had once a European friend whom I took. He managed to step on something and he was, annoyed. He said, I just bought these shoes, 200 pounds I paid for them. And you know what he did? He threw it away. He said, I'll never wear them again. A British gentleman. I once had a long talk with a German lady doctor in Munich, Gertie Peter. We were taking a walk of about 4 or 5 kilometers. And this subject came up. She said, oh, India, Chariji, I love it, but especially when I go to see Master, this sort of thing. I said, Gertie, in light you have a spectrum. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. None of them is beautiful, none of them is dirty, none of them is ugly. They are what they are, a spectrum. Why don't you imagine a spectrum of smells? From the absolutely rotten, like a rotten egg, to the absolutely divine, like some perfume in Paris. Why don't you imagine? She said, but we have been trained to see these things as dirty. I said, untrain yourself. That is also part of life. This is all. You have a jasmine, which you love to stoop and smell. And you have this. Just think of it as part of a spectrum. And if all these are put together, what do you get? You put together all the colors, you get white light. You put together all the smells, it's a divine essence. Smellless smell. Similarly, taste. So this was the sort of training we got from my master, merely by visiting him in Shahjahanpur. No power in summer, and when in Shahjahanpur power went, it was a matter of 36 hours before it was restored. These sort of fans, day and night, 4 of us fanning master. One wouldn't do, no fans. Even if there had been electricity, no fans. No question of ironing your clothes. We just washed them, pulled them to shape and hung them, and we wore them. We melded with the crowd. We were part of them. We were part of the humanity of India. When Babuji went, nobody said anything to him. Nobody knew he was a master. Nobody knew what he was. He didn't care who thought of what about him. Totally unself-conscious. Therefore, he said, avoid going anywhere after you come to me. Go straight home. I said, why? He said, when you come, you can look at anything you like. Because after all, when you come to me, I clean you. I prepare you. If you are ready, I move you to the next point. Now, in going back is the danger that if you stray from the path, you lose all that I have given you and perhaps more. So he always cautioned people, go back home straight. Don't go for a holiday. Don't go picnicking. Don't go anywhere. But everybody wants to go somewhere, They come to India and then they see Babuji and then they go to Delhi, go to Taj Mahal. Then they go to Jaipur, look at the camels, look at the desert, sleep in the desert, And by the time they go home and they write a letter to Babuji. Oh, I had such a wonderful condition, Babuji, in Shahjahanpur. I'm sorry to say I don't feel the same here now in Calais, in Paris, wherever it is. And Babuji said, look here, what they are writing. Yes, I said, you asked me to read it, I saw it. This is the problem, you see. They travel everywhere they like and they don't have the ability to retain that condition. So they lose it. I said, how to retain the condition? Suppose you have to go somewhere. How to retain the condition? And he gave a tip, very valuable tip. Enormously valuable. He said, wherever you go, whenever you go, feel that the master is going before you, ahead of you. Especially if you are going to a hotel, see that he is entering the room ahead of you, the room is automatically purified. I had this problem because when I used to go to Tirupati, I used to go almost every weekend to see Dr. Vadachari. I had a room in the lodge, as they say in India. And I could not sleep whole night. Next morning I was yawning and sleepy, bleary-eyed. Babuji said, what happened to you? I said, I could not sleep. Then he told me, imagine that I am walking ahead of you. When you enter the room, I am already inside. And it works. So when we are conscious of that, it works two ways. His protection is with me. Also, my attention is always on him. I cannot look here and there.